everybody, it is Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and today I'm going to show you how you can create for yourself at home this gorgeous painting of white lilacs in a mason jar. This is a very beginner-friendly painting. It's even a great first painting. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hello.
He is going to make sure that as I explain the simple techniques and the easy, fun way that we do this, that you can see everything that's going on by making sure the camera is pointing at it and that everything is very visible to you. Now, to help you in your art journey, I have all the materials listed down below. But remember, on this one, you don't have to have exactly what I have. You can just bring what you have. Also, there is a free traceable on the website if you would like to download that. I am going to show you how to draw the mason jar. But if that feels a little intimidating, the traceable is there for you to download anytime. And there's going to be written out instructions in what we call a mini book, which is a downloadable, written out instruction booklet that goes with this video. So that is a lot to help you win. I absolutely know that you can do this. So really all you've got to do is decide to take a little time for your creativity, get your brushes, get your cotton swabs, and come back and meet me. I'm going to show you how easy this is to create. So today's surface is a 9 by 12 canvas, stretch canvas that I have painted black with acrylic paint 2 coats. Now you can buy these black already from the store, or you can just paint them black with any acrylic paint that you have. I do find that a couple of coats is very helpful. I have phthalo green and cad yellow on my palette, but just any green and yellow is fine. And I have some titanium white paint. Now you can thin this for the Q-tip part, or you can buy a paint that's already thin for you. And I will kind of show you both later. I've got a number for round out, and I have a chalk tool. Now the chalk tool is what I'm going to start step 1 here with, sketching in the jar. But here's what. If you're going to do this just one time with some friends as a painting party, just get kids chalk like the kind you find on chalkboard. If you're doing it all the time, this is a Dritz chalk tool. Just check the price on it because it really shouldn't be over $15. They sell them at Joann's. It's for Taylor's chalk. It's just an oil-free. That's been crazy with the prices, John. Yeah. Now over here, I'm going to think about the size of my jar. So the first thing is I'm going to leave 2 fingers from the left. And then I'm going to come over at least a wide hand. Right? Just a nice little width for those straight lines. And that kind of lets me know what the side of my jar is going to be. And you can see it's not a dark line that I'm making. On the same level, and here's the trick where I do this to know how to do the shoulders, and I use a tool called a T-square. I'm going to bring this in, and I'll come across, and that will let me know where to start the angle. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
For my shoulders. Doesn't have to be totally perfect. It's art, but, you know, those little things can help. I'm going to make a little curved line. It's curved a bit like a smile. I go up. 2 more vertical lines. I curve this again, and I can make a little ellipse by joining a frown into it. And that's just the basic shape of a mason jar that we're going to be using. Pretty easy for step 1. I'm going to come back and show you how you make this begin into our painting, and it's going to be fun. So at this stage, I'm going to take a bright, it's just a small square brush. This happens to be a number 8 Textura, which might be overkill for the painting. It's a really nice acrylic brush, but I just think anything that gives you a good line and a good shape will work. I'm going to come in and paint the back of the jar. Didn't have quite enough water on there. The back of the jar lips. Not bad.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to come in and kind of talk about the sides a little bit, just making little lines. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to do some downward strokes. These are kind of like the reflections of the back of the glass.
Yep.
Just pulling them down on a dry brush. That means there's not a lot of water on my brush, and it lets that brush stroke be streaky. to look like the reflections of glass. Dry this, and then I'll show you what the next step is. So we have the back of the jar in, and now I'm going to take my chalk tool and sketch in a couple guidelines to help me with the flowers that are going to be inside the jar. My first line is going to start at the far right of the jar and curve upward to a point. That's going to be the first lilac. Then next to it, coming over a little bit, is a friend. It's a little bit longer and curves in. We come over towards the left again, curving this one much further out to the right. And then finally, our last bloom, which is going to come and curve down. And that leaves room for us to have leaves and all the little support structures. Now I'm going to take a number 4 round. This is a Simply Simmons round in extra firm. And I do recommend these if you need brushes on a budget because they're a very good budget brush. I'm going to take a little of my yellow and green together and make a grass green. You could just also buy a grass green. You don't have to mix colors if you don't want to. It wouldn't be anything wrong to do that. I'm just making sure there's enough water in my brush so that it's loaded and the paint will flow. And I'm only going to bring up the stem a little bit past the jar and brush that down. That's because I'm going to be coming through with my Q-tips and the white paint to make the white lilacs, which are going to be super pretty and super simple. Just pulling a nice even brush stroke down. Now how I'm doing this is I'm not pressing very hard and I'm using the toe, the tip of the brush, and that lets me get a nice line. If you're having any problems with your line, it could be that you're pressing too hard. It could be that your paint is too thick, or it could be that your brush is too soft without firm enough of a point. So those are all little things that could trip you up maybe. I'm going to bring a little line out here and paint a diamond leaf shape. More like a little spade, little diamond there.
Yeah.
Garden trowel kind of shape. Just little leaves. Just green and yellow at this stage. They look nice. And they just give some context to our plant. That's really all it is. Leaves are always nice. Plus the green, the white, and the black is just graphically really exciting right now. A lot of great art and creativity happening in the black and white space. Bringing little leaves coming down like that. I'm going to rinse out. And I am going to dry everything and I'll come back and show you what you do next. We're doing pretty good now. We've got nice little bits going in. I'm going to take my yellow and a little less green, making a very bright green. I'll take a little of my white into it. We're going to just add some highlights. I'm getting a drop of water to thin the paint to the leaves. So I'm going to come on the top side here and add a little highlight. And the upside there to add a little highlight. These are just little highlights. I can also add a little bit of a highlight to the stem just to give it dimensionality. And come in with just a little bit of highlights down the stems. Just bringing some color through. You can see I skip lines. That kind of puts one stem in front of the other. That's kind of a fun thing that we do in art. The way objects relate to each other in placement, create depth. So you're doing a very complicated, fun art thing, right?
Yeah.
Learning some real art stuff here while having a great time creating something for your own space. Look at that. They're just so graphic and cute now. You're going to hear this a lot before the end of this lesson. Let's dry this again because with acrylic, you either need it to stay wet or to be dry. And in this particular project, dry is our friend. We get to do the front of the jar now, which is kind of a magic trick. I'm going to take my number 8 bright again. Remember, this gives me a nice square brush. And I'm going to load it up. Not a lot of water on it. It's just barely damp. And I'm going to come across the front and find my little smile again to complete that ellipse. Come down a little bit. Find the lip of the jar again. I need a little more water. I can get it. It takes a drop, not a lot. Sometimes you want 2 drops. Sometimes you want 1 drop. And a lot of that is down to the brush that you have because some brushes are thirstier than others. So that's something that might be different for you. I've got the 3 little lines here. Those are pretty good. Now I'm going to come across the front of my jar with a reflection. A little bit there. I'm here with like a little bit of a reflection too. Just dry brushing. Making sure that this front smile is nice and strong. There we go. And that's really all you need to do to get the glass in because it's, super see-through. So very helpful to us at home. Guess what we get to do next, John?
What's that?
The fun part, the flowers. Super fun, super easy. You're going to love this part. So in this, I can either thin my very thick acrylic paint with a few drops of water and mix it in with like a brush or a palette knife until it is flowing and very smooth. That can take a little bit of work, but it's really, really doable. A thing that I can do to make my time here much easier, though, is get something that is a fluid or soft bodied acrylic. And what that means, instead of being thick like frosting, it's a little smoother like pancake batter or olive oil, and it is higher pigmented. So it's really kind of making my job easy here. I'm going to pour some of this out. You can get this from professional levels like this, which is the golden fluid acrylic, to you could get a Deco Americana craft paint, and it would be just as good and just as fun. Now I'm going to take bunches of cotton swabs. These actually are Q-tip brand cotton swabs, but any cotton buds would work. And I bunch them together with little rubber bands. I've got bunches of 3, 4, and more. And I'm going to start out with my bigger bunch, I think, collecting it together so it's got a nice little formation. Right. And what I do is I'm going to tap up and down in the paint. Tap, 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 tap. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to be stamping these up and down. Look at that. And that's going to form the flower. Tap, tap, tap. Now, sometimes people get fuzzy cotton swabs. If you get the discount brand, sometimes they will fuzz out. I actually have a video on how to fix that because I've taught so many cotton swab paintings at this point that I had run into those challenges myself and came up with little strategies for you if your cotton swabs are fuzzy and not playing nice. Now, as I come here, I'm going to taper this down a bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can do that a couple of ways. You can see I can get to the edge of my swabs. I didn't even need the 3 or 1. It's actually pretty doable to control the swabs. But if you're having trouble tapering, you can go down to a bunch of 3 or 4. And I do this through all of the flowers. Really all it's going to take. It's going to look so nice on the wall. So really modern and clean. This is a nice painting because you can be at a variety of skill levels in your art and still get a good result. And that's kind of what I like about this technique is it helps you guys realize that yeah, you can totally paint. Sometimes it's just about getting out of your own head and remembering this is fun.
Yeah,
Just fun. Fun to make art. I can't believe we're almost done, John.
it's getting close.
I know it's going to be a really nice one. I like black backgrounds with florals. I think it looks really nice. I'll have to do some more.
I look forward to.
I think next, though, in cotton swabs, we need to do some lavender fields and maybe some dandelions again. Cherry tree. Good stuff coming. Lots to do, lots of creativity to enjoy. You can see as I load, the flowers are heavier, and then as I work out, they're a little thinner. Turning my cotton swabs to the edge to tape them. Look at those gorgeous flowers. You can make them heavier if you want to anywhere, or you can leave them light. I like them kind of light because I like the graphicness of it. Now I'm going to take a small brush and sign my name. This is a number one monogram liner. I like having liners in my brush kit, but then I paint all the time. So if you wanted to do a paint pen or, not even worry about it, that's okay too. I just think the signature in white will look good on this particular piece. Oh my, art is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be scary or intimidating for you to learn a whole bunch of things. You learned about painting glass and about creating value for leaves and about how implied texture creates form. Little secret cool art things that you learned today that you probably didn't realize you took in. More of these fun projects. If this was fun for you and you'd like to do more of this, I have a whole playlist on my YouTube channel. You can find it everywhere that my videos are, Facebook or Roku or anywhere. Tons of stuff to do. You could cotton swab all day, all the things. You'll love it. Wasn't this fun, John?
It really was.
Chill, fun, easy, perfect for you. Now, be good to yourselves and be good to each other. So I want to see you in an easel really soon. Bye bye.